HarperCollins presents The House on Blueberry Lane by Brenda Jackson. Read by Ron Butler.
To the man who will always and forever be the love of my life, Gerald Jackson Sr. My hero, the wind beneath my wings, my everything. To those attending the Brenda Jackson Readers Reunion Cruise 2023, this one is for you. Chapter 1. Velvet Spencer sat in front of her TV with a glass of wine in one hand and the remote in the other. There had to be something worth watching other than romance movies, cop shows, and sci-fi films. She was in the mood for none of those. In her present frame of mind, she should just finish her wine and go on to bed. She loved her job as a teacher, but was glad she didn't have to dwell on lesson plans for a while. School had ended for the holidays, and with nothing planned this week, she thought she might drive into New Orleans to start early Christmas shopping. Shopping was always a girl's best friend. Anything was better than sitting around and letting her thoughts dwell on that town hall meeting she'd attended last Thursday, when she'd seen Jaye Colfax for the first time in 2 years. That's when she had ended their relationship and left Phoenix without telling him she was leaving or where she was headed. For 2 years, she had tried building another life for herself without him in Catalina Cove, and had done a fairly good job. And now he was here. His presence was already the talk of the town. Everyone at that meeting had been introduced to the wealthy entrepreneur who had purchased the only bank in Catalina Cove. Women were whispering about how drop-dead gorgeous he was, and speculating about what it would take to capture such a man's eye. She had been tempted to tell them, unless they were in for an affair that led nowhere, not to waste their time. Afterward, she couldn't get home quick enough to call her best friend, Ruthie, to tell her that Jaye was not only in town, but would be here for a while to get his newly purchased asset, Barrow's Bank, up and running. Her best friend was just as shocked as she was. Ruthie even brought up the possibility that Jaye had somehow found out her whereabouts, and that was why he was in Catalina Cove. Velvet knew that theory wasn't true. Jaye didn't run after women. Besides, why now, after she'd been gone 2 years? Velvet put the remote on the table and went into the kitchen. She was about to pour some more wine when her doorbell sounded. Who in the world could that be? Maybe it was her neighbor, Delisa Mills, letting her know she was back in town. Delisa wasn't just her neighbor, but also her landlord. The woman had inherited the huge Victorian-style 2-story home that could house a family of 15 easily. Not needing all that space, Delisa had transformed the house into a duplex with separate entrances, one from the side and one from the front, all without altering the style and elegance of the beautiful and spacious house. Velvet lived in the lower section. Her 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, and dining area fit her needs and suited her just fine. Delisa lived above in the 2nd story. A divorcee in her late 50s, Delisa loved to travel and spent most of her time out of the country. She thought the older woman was friendly, and as far as Velvet was concerned, their arrangement worked out great. When she reached the door, she asked, "Who is it?"
Jaye Colfax.
Velvet's heart nearly jumped out of her chest. What was Jaye doing here? How had he found out where she lived? Drawing in a deep breath, she tried to calm her erratic heartbeat. Glancing down at herself, she was glad she was decent, since she hadn't changed out of the slacks and blouse she'd worn to her dentist appointment that day. With slightly trembling hands, she opened the door. The porch light illuminated his features, and she went still, taking in just how handsome he was. Jack Colfax Jr., known to his friends as Jaye, stood there looking simply gorgeous, from his head to his toes and every part in between. "Jaye, what are you doing here?"
May I come in, Val, so we can talk?
He asked with an unreadable expression. Hearing him say her nickname, which nobody in Catalina Cove used, gave her pause. Ruthie called her that all the time, but hearing Jaye say it brought a lot of memories rushing through her mind and her body.
Val?
He'd said it again. She could easily say no.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?